Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another No Man's Sky Frontiers video. Today let's talk about maxing out your settlement. It's one of those big endeavors that you're probably gonna want to do in the new update. I mean, I've literally just done it, and there's a few mistakes on the way and a few tips and tricks that I want to share with you guys, and also a full showcase of my current max rank settlement. Not yet fully done with it, there's still quite a lot to go, but this wouldn't have been possible without the new update 3.63. So that is still under testing on the Steam version, and hopefully it will go live in a few more hours. But in the meantime, let's talk about this and also go over my settlement. So the most important change, of course, in the new update is going to be the fact that timers are finally fixed. So now events should spawn way more often. And I went ahead and did a lot of testing on this, and also asked a lot of people who did play on the experimental branch as well, and the general consensus is that these settlement events will now spawn between 25 minutes to 120 minutes, give or take. Personally, I've seen sometimes it's spawning around the half-hour mark, but usually the average is around 1 hour. So I would get a new event, be it a new building, a new structure to construct, or maybe a new citizen event about every hour or so when I was playing on the test version. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at the settlement. This has improved a lot in update 3.63, and even though there's so many projects that I have completed so far and so many buildings I have constructed, there's still a ton coming every single hour with update 3.63, so I cannot wait for this to hit the live servers so that you guys can also enjoy them. But going over an overview of my current settlement, this is kind of like how it looks. As you can see, it's been greatly expanded. I've approved a ton of new buildings, big and small. I think in total about 15 to 20 at the very least, and even like landing pads, about 3 of them I've approved recently. These are, by the way, really awesome because they increase productivity quite a bit. They're also rather easy to complete, and most important, they make it possible for alien NPCs and their ships to spawn and land in your settlement without you having to construct your own with base building and whatnot. So while you wait for construction terminals and all that kind of stuff, you can also do some ship hunting right from your very settlement. So all in all, I'm super happy with how the settlement turned out to be. I'm really happy that I'm able to approve all of these, and as I've said, they kind of happen every single hour with the new update. Now, in terms of a general overview of the stats and how to increase its rank, here is how my settlement looks right now. And yes, I was finally able to rank this up all the way up to the max, and I finally got the info for why that was possible. And by the way, I also consulted with a number of other players who have also done similarly. So here is how it is. Settlement rank seems to be exclusively tied to population size and happiness levels. Everything else doesn't really matter. The other stats matter to your productivity, like if you want to get out of debt or if you want to make some profit on the side, that matters differently. But these two right here, either of these two stats will greatly benefit towards reaching that max rank. So much so, in fact, that only one single happiness project that I was doing at about B rank immediately jumped my settlement to S rank. Right now it is sitting around 50%, and it's going to like increase even more once I complete the next project. But this is not really what you need. Like even 35% in happiness is enough, and I think it should pop you out to S rank right there. But in the meantime, let's talk about some of the other stats and features from your base, especially since the stats right here in the middle, these are going to be different and they stack different than the ones given by certain buildings or some other events, which is why I wanted to also go over some of the policy decisions, disputes, approving construction projects, and also the visitor events as well. And I will start things off with the policy decisions because for the most part these are the ones that influence your settlement features, which are these green and red traits beneath the general information, usually bonuses or debuffs to population size, productivity, sentinel attack rate, and so on and so forth. Now, when you take a new policy decision, you usually replace an existing buff or debuff with a new one indicated by the policy. That's why at the beginning of a settlement acquisition, it's so easy to completely remove the red ones and replace them with new green ones ones and kind of reach a scenario like this where all of them will end up being green and giving you some bonuses. And here is where the important bit starts, because you will continue to get policy decisions spawning even way past after already filling your feature with green policies, case in which you will even end up replacing green ones with other positive green ones that might be better if you want to min-max your settlement. This is why I fully and positively recommend you do a save file before picking your next policies, just so you can see exactly how much they influence your settlement and what stats they will give you more of. So that's why you will see me kind of picking and choosing between these, reloading save files, and then just settling up with the one that I want the most of them all. Like for example, I'm currently focusing on happiness and population increase, so I will favor those kinds of policies, but that's because I have enough productivity to afford it. The next one is going to be about construction projects / building opportunities, and these are rather straightforward because you will want to approve all of these no matter what. Now usually they kind of give you a decision to make between either getting a productivity building or a happiness increasing building, and this again depends on your preference. Personally right now I have enough productivity, so I'm kind of going into a little bit of happiness and population increase as well. Now the third type of event is going to be the citizen disputes, and these are a bit like wild cards because many times you might not see what the immediate effect is, it might be obscured, or you might even end up with a decision like this in my case, where both of these decisions were affecting my settlement in a negative way. Both the correct and the right answer were actually affecting either my productivity or my maintenance cost in a negative way. There's others in there though that are positive, like some of them might remove your debt or reduce it in a way or another. That is why, just like in the case of the policy decisions, I recommend to make a save file beforehand, and if both of these decisions are bad, just pick the one that influences your settlement the least or for the shortest amount of time possible. Also on the same note, there's also something called citizen requests, and these are different. They are both different to citizen disputes and different than construction projects, as they will make you send your citizens or a couple of them on expedition parties. So expedition rewards, if they are successful, they might give you something like nanites or trading goods. But for me personally, these are absolutely not worth it in most of the scenarios, especially this one right here. I paid 35k in debt for just 350 nanites, which was absolutely not worth it. So don't be afraid to deny these, especially if they start adding too much to your debt, or sometimes if they don't give proper rewards. There is though a type of citizen request that actually can work and can be beneficial, which are the ones where you endorse a certain event or maybe a party, usually like these, where you get some citizen happiness at the cost of some debt, which in this case is a lot more tame, and it would definitely be worth it if you can, of course, eat up the cost. But otherwise, the others I would avoid, especially since those expedition parties aren't 100% guaranteed to even be a success. This finally brings us to the visitor / unexpected guest events, and some of the ones that will give you more bonuses than you can even imagine. So their benefits can range anywhere from completely useless, bonuses like having a reputation increase or decreased with a certain faction, all the way up to even getting up to several bonuses at the same time, especially how it happened in this case. There's more than a few occasions in which I was able to get from one of these visitors not just a population increase but also a feature, but at the same time for a cost that would add to my debt. But because I have enough productivity, I was more than capable of affording this. But don't go overboard with it. Just like in the case of the citizen requests, don't be afraid to deny these if they stockpile too much, because you don't want too much debt either. So sometimes that cost to benefit is kind of disproportionate and it will cost too much for the benefit that you're getting. All in all, this is how my settlement looks right now. I will definitely keep you guys updated with my progress once I hit the max possible size limit and, well, building limit. Right now, it's still going. I'm still getting a ton of constructions approved. I'm still getting a ton of events, and I think that you can easily reach over 100 NPCs spawning right there in the settlement. Cannot wait for the full-on settlement, but totally let me know down below, what is your current rank with your own settlement? What's the population size? How is your happiness? And how many buildings buildings were you able to approve so far. This is it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.